I believe that's right. So, I don't have much time for now. We'll start my session soon. From now, I'm gonna talk something about complacence because I believe I grew complacent a little bit today. I still didn't do my workout, even though it's pretty important for me. It is the hard work that you kinda have to do, especially when you don't feel like it. Yeah. Pretty wonder from where I stole that line, like this position will be actually better. So, as I said, most people are pretty complacent with their lives. Like, they've got their job set up, they're happy with the physique, with the family, and they kinda don't want to progress further. They are living in the mediocrity, chasing happiness, and for most people, it's going to be fine anyway. If you're kind of man like me on self-improvement, you know you have so much more potential, and you can strive you can chase your goals even further. You don't settle down for an average job. You most likely will be willing to be boss of yourself. You will start your own business. You will hire employees instead of being an employee. But I'm getting a little off topic here. Like, I believe the complacence is the short topic, and I don't want to like go for a detail like why is it working, how is it working, but it is kinda because a human nature works exactly like that. Like people from like the Stone Age were were not granted food daily, so in our brain, which still didn't evolve to this day, from back then, wants to preserve energy and resources if it can. So like, excuse me, if you don't have an immediate pursuit to, for instance, get a food because you already have it, like you won't be like hyper focused to get that food because you are already granted it. We live in a very comfortable society. Back in the day, nobody were actually granted food. Like you had to live in a tribe and either be gatherer which gathers food for others or be a part of a tribe that does something else important to be granted food, etc. And that's why people back in the day, in my opinion, were more purposeful and they could practice hard work better. While we're granted food, like in this society, you basically have to do. You have to do anything to be granted food. There are many more layers where you can progress. For instance, you may be wondering why only a small percentile of people have like fast sports cars, where like about, I believe, 50 or more even percent of people don't even have a car. Like finance car is not your car. You aren't actually owning it right now because if you don't pay off your credit, you will be disallowed of that. Like it'll be gone like that. Same thing with the house actually. It's so impressive how people have evolved to impress others in order to stay in the tribe. Like we have evolved to that. We want to like appear on social media while living this extraordinary expensive lifestyle we can just afford on credit just to impress random people that frankly don't care about us. it's so simple to fall to the temptations because these needs are actually primal. Like back in the day, you needed validation in order to be a part of a tribe. Like lone units were actually destined to die, and that's why we are actually so conditioned to impress others in order to just don't get kicked out of the tribe. Because if you don't appear strong and generate some value, you are actually considered outlaw in this society. You kind of want to be similar to others, even if you don't admire them and think that you can be better by yourself, and just you can't live others. Like it's so strong pursuit, and I completely understand that. I just wanted to say that in today's world, we don't develop quicker because we connect to others. I mean, we do, but not in the sense I'm talking about. Like, if you are connecting to others for sake of keeping the relationship, it's probably toxic and more devastating for you in the long run. What I'm trying to say, in this case, if your group of friends, family, like people you spend time around with, don't give you a value, and you don't give for them like a productive value back, it's gonna be toxic relationship like sooner or later, because you just want to meet each other in order to survive. So you will you will grow like totally separated from yourself. That's actually the case why people, despite having like telephones and and many chats, like we have so much communication access, we can literally contact anyone in the world right now, and despite that, the rate of loneliness is the world's highest. It's actually insane. What I'm trying to say, I don't want to say you should leave your old friends and family immediately, because they actually may may grant you some value that you just don't see because you grew complacent to them. Like you treat them for granted and didn't practice gratitude enough. The gratitude will be covered in another video at how to practice it. Just I'm saying, don't get rid of everyone that doesn't give you value. You may be missing out on things, but if there are people that are completely that are not giving any value for you, you may consider like just quarantining yourself from them and working on yourself, on your value, to get into other environment or creating your own. Like it's not impossible. For instance, many people have actually benefited from internet in the way that they have created an online communities which are rounded uh, around their interests. For instance, there's this self-improvement so-called tribes which connect many people which are entrepreneurs and want to get better at every aspect of the life. And that's basically a vision of one man that wants to gather others in a specific area, which today is usually internet, but it doesn't have to be. It's just an example. Like I believe if I were to reach 10,000 subscribers, we will like be a kind of part of tribe that will not be close physically or something, because it's I think not enough number yet. I believe we'll be like close enough to talk about problems, but won't be as recognizable. But that's just the start point. That's my goal for now. Like reach this 10,000 by the end of the year. As I've said it, I'll probably have to commit to that for real now, 100%, no excuses. I've just realized I've been so lonely, man. I didn't even notice it. Like, I was being focusing on this self-improvement journey for so long that I've lost connections with all my friends, which apparently weren't providing for me much value because I actually could have lived without them. If I were unable to live without them or grow without them, I'd probably keep them. Like, it's just that simple. But I've kept only a few friends that still support me and that actually benefit from my support as well. Like, any relationship is kinda mutual agreement of exchanging values. At some point, you will realize that if you are like having much friends that you do only small talk with, you won't have like a strong relationship with them, and at some point it may be just to give up on this friendship. But I don't encourage any of you to do any hasty decisions. Like, I believe I've mentioned in my previous video, like this 2 hour segment each week to just reconsider your goals. Your goal may be to get into better environment, and that's the time when you can evaluate some of your friendships, whether they're beneficial for you or not. I mean, if you think about that, you're getting even more and more ideas of what to think about during these 2 hours that you might even want to lengthen this period of time to even more. Like, you don't want to be ridiculous and overthink that every day. Just spend a certain fixed amount of time every week to reconsider your goals and purposes, just to know what's going on in your life. I'm doing it myself. Like, every week, I just I'm just doing like a summary of my week, what I've done, what I could have better, what I actually improved on, just like practice my gratitude. And actually, it works out for me. Like, I've evaluated so many friendships. There were some toxic ones even where I've tried to support my friends, and they were like just either not interested because they had their lives, or they were even toxic and wanted to destroy me. Like, sometimes you just gotta experience your life from the third perspective and like judge your judge yourself like you would have judged your best friend, like with like true genuine love, not just be preoccupied with emotions because they can be very commonly destructive. So back to the point, complacence. Like, not everyone is created for self-improvement, and I hope you will, because you apparently are listening to this video. If you want more of this content, maybe you would consider subscribing. Just, you know, I'll post also in the description link to my Discord server. I'll be launching like my private calls one-on-one soon. So if you have more questions, if you want to like uh, ask me or something, ask for some advice, direction of how I'm doing some things. If you want to improve on something, I'm pretty much I can handle to answer some of those questions. I'll probably posting in the server like answers to the frequent asked questions on these calls. I'm gonna build some kind of online community like I've explained before because I have some desire to connect people with the same kinds of interests. I believe it will work out for now, but I'll have to gather this community 10k is a goal. You may be one of them. Certainly, don't want to miss out if you're on self-improvement. This was another type of video. This time with FaceTime, like I'm talking to the camera, not just walking around and distracting myself with beautiful trees and some things. Hope you liked it. Like, I'm happy to see your feedback. Small creators like me, like, just needed so much to develop. Like, we can't just hop on ideas and implement all them by ourselves, because usually ideas are far from what viewers want, like you. Like, if you want to share your opinion, it will be more likely than not implemented soon, because after all, content is created for viewers. So happily see your feedback if you want to change in my in my content, basically. Maybe some future topics. I can talk about a lot of stuff. Today was a short one, and see you next time. Bye.